In the coming lectures, we are going to talk about nested classes. So first of all, what are nested classes? A nested class is a class that is defined within another class. They enable you to logically group classes that are only used in one place. Thus, this increases the use of encapsulation, create more readable, maintainable code, and it requires less code to write. So basically, it has something to do with code optimization. There are four types of nested classes. A nested class that is not static is called an inner class. So this is why there are nested classes such as static nested class and non-static nested classes or inner classes. And there are three types of inner classes: member inner classes, local inner classes, and anonymous inner classes. First of all, let's talk about the member inner class. A member inner class is a non-static class that is created inside the class but outside the method. As you can see, this inner class is within an outer class, but it is outside the scope of a method. So member inner class is accessing the instance variable member of the outer class. So this is why a given method, such as the inner method that belongs to the inner class, can use the instance variable that belongs to the outer class. So in this case, within the inner method, we can modify instance variable. If you want to instantiate an inner class, first you must create the instance of the outer class. So this is why we have to instantiate the outer class, and after we instantiated the inner class, we are able to call the method that is associated with the inner class. Okay, so after that an instance of inner class is created inside the instance of the outer class, you can access the method inside the inner class. So this is how we can deal with a member inner class. What about a local inner class? Local inner class is a non-static class that is created inside the class but inside a given method. The inner class can access the instance variables of the outer class. So as you can see, we have the outer class, we have an instance variable integer instance var, and we have a given method, outer method, and within the method we can define another class, the so-called inner class, that can have as many methods as we want. And this method, for example, this inner method, can access the instance variable that belongs to the outer class. So this is called a local inner class that's defined within a given method. You can instantiate inner class inside of the method which contains the inner class. This way you can access the inner method. So we have to do something like this. The outer is a new outer class, and we can call the outer method without any problem. Okay, so as you can see, within the given method, we instantiate the inner class itself, and we can call the method associated with the inner class. What about static nested classes? A static nested class is a static class that is defined at the same level as static variables. It is a nested class which is a static member of the outer class. Static nested class is accessing the static variables exclusively. So as you can see, if we define a static class nested, then the method associated with the nested class can access the static variables exclusively. This static variable belongs to the outer class, but if it is defined static, then the static nested class can access it without any problem. You may pose the question that how to instantiate a static nested class. We have to do something like this, that the outer.nested I is equals to the new outer.nested, and now we can call the nested method that's associated with the static nested class. Okay, so this is how we can use static nested classes. And what about anonymous inner classes? It is an inner class without a name. It should be used if you have to override a method of a class or an interface. We can have an anonymous inner class that extends a given class, maybe abstract or concrete, or that implements an interface. So for example, we have an abstract class A class with an abstract void obs method, and we can create a class like this. We instantiate a new class, and then we have to override the method we have defined in the abstract class. And of course, we can call the method like this. We can do the same with interfaces as well. So we have a public interface, A interface, then we can basically instantiate an interface, but explicitly we are not able to instantiate an interface. This is why we have to use anonymous inner classes, and if we instantiate it, we have to override the method we have defined in the interface or in the abstract class. We are going to talk a lot more about concrete examples in the coming lectures. Thanks for watching. In this lecture, we are going to talk about local inner classes. So a local inner class is a non-static class, as we have discussed in the previous lecture, that is created inside the class. So I'm going to create a new class, outside class, and within the outside class, we will have an instance variable, a private string message is equals to this is a message instance variable. Okay, so this is the string itself, and here we can define a method, public void author method, and here within a given method we are able to define a class. The name is going to be inner class, and the inner class is going to have a public void show message method that's going to print out the message itself. And as you can see, the inner class is able to access the instance variable of the outside class. So I'm going to get rid of the unnecessary white lines. We are able to instantiate an inner class. It's going to be the inner class like this. And we are able to call this show message. So whenever we save it and in the application.java, we are able to instantiate the outside class. So outside class is a new outside class, and if we call the method author method, then we can call it without any issue, of course, because it is a public void author method that belongs to the outside class, and within the author method we are able to create an inner class with a given method that's able to access the instance variable of the outside class, and we are able to instantiate the inner class and show the message that's going to call this method. So if we save and run the application, as you can see, this is a message instance variable. So this message was printed out here within the inner class. So this is how we can use inner classes. What's extremely crucial, that local inner class is a non-static class that is created inside a class and inside a method. So this is how we can deal with local inner classes. Thanks for watching. In this lecture, we are going to talk about member inner classes. So a member inner class is created within a class and outside a method. So if we create an outside class and we create a private instance variable, for example, a string, message is equals to hello world, then we are able to create an inner class, so class inner class. Within the inner class, we are able to create a public void show message method that's going to print out the message itself. So as you can see, again, if we create an inner class within an outside class, then the method associated with the inner class is able to access the instance variable that belongs to the outside class. So this is why we are able to print out the message. And as you can see, this message is an instance variable. It has nothing to do with the inner class. So if we want to instantiate an inner class, first we have to instantiate the outside class. So outside class is a new outside class, and then we are able to instantiate the inner class. So this is the inner class, which is the outside class dot new inner class. And now with the help of this reference, we are able to call the show message method. So this is how we can instantiate an inner class. As you can see, first we have to instantiate the outside class, and then the outside class dot new inner class. This is how we can instantiate the inner class, but this is not independent from the outside class. This is why we have to reference it like outside class dot operator inner class. And if we run the application, we are able to print out hello world, and this hello world is coming from here. So within the inner class that's able to access the instance variable of the outside class, and we are able to do something like this. So that's all about the member inner class, where the member inner class is created within a class and outside a method. So this is how we can instantiate and use member inner classes. Thanks for watching. In this lecture, we are going to talk about static nested classes. So a static nested class is created within a class as usual, and it is a static class that is defined at the same level as static variables. So it can access static instance variables exclusively, and what's crucial, that nested class can be accessed without instantiating the outer class. So if we have an outside class and we have a private string message as usual, for example hello world, and we have a static inner class, so static class nested class, and we have a public void show message method that's going to print out the instance variable message. In this case, we are not able to do so. This is exactly what we have been talking about, that a static nested class is not able to access private instance variables. We have to make the instance variable static, and as you can see, if the message is static, then we are able to print it out within the nested class. So this is the first crucial part, and the second important thing is that we are able to instantiate the static inner class without instantiating the outside class. So we can do something like outside class dot nested class. Nested class is equals to a new outside class dot nested class. So if we do something like this, then we are able to access the methods within the nested class, such as the show message method. And if we save and run the application, as you can see, the static instance variable, so the hello world, is going to be printed out with the help of the static nested class. So what's crucial is that a static nested class can access static field variables exclusively, and we are able to instantiate a static nested class without the need of instantiating the outside class first. So it is a powerful feature of static nested classes. Thanks for watching. In this lecture, we are going to talk about anonymous inner classes. So I'm going to create an abstract class, which is going to be an abstract class. It's going to be, sorry for that, not a public class, but abstract class, okay. And here I'm going to define an abstract public method, void show message. It's going to be the show message abstract method. Okay, and in the application.java, we are able to instantiate this abstract class. So a class is a new abstract class, and as you can see, you are not able to instantiate an abstract class without implementing the given method we have specified here. So because we have specified the show message method, this is why we have to make sure that whenever we instantiate the abstract class, we have to implement it here. So if I try to do something like this, that we instantiate the abstract class, of course we are not able to do so. We cannot instantiate type abstract class. So this is why we have to instantiate as an anonymous inner class, and we have to define the show message. So here this is a message, and we are able to use this instantiated abstract class, so a class dot show message. So as you can see here, we are able to call the method we have defined here. So if we save and run it, of course, this is a message. It's going to be printed out because we instantiated the abstract class and we have to define and override the show message method. And then we called a class.showMessage, which is going to print out this is a message. So this is how we are able to instantiate an abstract class, and this is called anonymous inner class, because here after instantiating, we have to override and we have to define the method we have specified in the abstract class. We can do the same with a given interface. So abstract interface. Here we can define the public void show message method, and because it is an interface, again, we are not able to instantiate an interface in Java. So if we do something like abstract interface, a interface is a new abstract interface, of course we are not able to instantiate it. So if I do something like this, it's going to be a compile time error. We cannot instantiate an interface, but we are able to instantiate it as an anonymous inner class. So as you can see, again, we have to override the method we have specified in the abstract interface. So because we have a public void show message, this is why we have to override this method. If we have more than one method, so for example, show message and send message, then in this case we have two methods in the interface, which means that if we instantiate the interface as an anonymous inner class, then we are able to show the message. So showing the message, and we override the send message as well. Sending the message ... So again, we can use this interface, so a interface, and we can call the show message and we can call the send message methods as well. So if we save it and run it, then showing the message and sending the message are going to be printed out. So these are called anonymous inner classes when we try to instantiate an interface or an abstract class and we have to override the methods we have specified in the given interface or in the given abstract class. So that's all about anonymous inner classes. Thanks for watching.